Well, hello again. Welcome to the VK60S amateur radio channel. The other day I was chatting to somebody and I said that even when I run the FT857 or the FT450 at 100 watts, I'll still get pixelation on my digital TV, and sometimes the screen will go completely blank due to the proximity of the television antenna to the wire, to the HF wire antenna. And because all transmitters have a little bit of spury and a little bit of stuff coming out of them, but it's quite low down usually. But when I fit this thing here, which is my low pass filter, none of that happens. Even if I run 200 watts with the valve amplifier, I don't get any pixelation on any TV channels, and I don't get any blanking out, the screen going blank. And someone said to me, "Oh, I'll get one of those filters. Where do you put it? Is it the last thing? Is it the last thing in the chain of equipment before the antenna?" And I said, "Yeah, it is." Admittedly, I didn't really put enough thought into that, because until recently this was in the house the last thing before the antenna, because you've got the coax going to the transmitter here, and the coax from here going out to the ATU. And I think I might have given him the impression it goes on the other side of the ATU. Now these are 50 ohm devices, you know, so it's 50 ohms in, 50 ohms out. So where this goes actually in the chain of equipment is next to the radio. So I'll see if I can draw this around the camera. So there's the radio. That goes to the filter that I just showed you. It's a low pass filter. Now, because I'm feeding DC up the coax to my ATU, I've got a bias T. That goes to the bias T. We've got 12 volts going into the bias T. So this is in the house. Then we've got some coax that goes down the garden to another bias T. That then goes to the ATU. And the 12 volts comes out. That's the 12 volts coming out of the bias T and going in to power the ATU. Now the later ATU that I've got has actually got a bias T inside it, so I only need one bias T at the house end. There's the antenna. That's the wire antenna, and there's the ground. So that is the whole chain of equipment from one end to the other. And I thought I'd just do a quick video, because I've heard this question before, and I thought that it may be useful for people to get a clearer picture in their heads of how these things are set up. So you've got the radio. The output of the radio goes straight into the low pass filter. It's a 50 ohm device, 50 ohm from the radio, 50 ohm from the antenna, because remember, this is matched, this is transparent as far as the RF is concerned, the bias T. The RF doesn't see that, the RF doesn't see the bias T at the other end. The ATU matches whatever impedance, load impedance is presented here to 50 ohms. So it's 50 ohms at this point, goes all the way back here to the filter. So both the in and the output impedance of the filter is 50 ohms. So I just thought I'd do a very quick video on that one. Because some people may find that of interest. I know sort of seasoned hams will be going, "How obvious is that, really?" You know. But there's a lot of people out there that are sort of new to the hobby, or might be putting something like this together for the first time, and not be quite sure where these things go. So there we are. The chain of equipment, or the chain of devices in my HF radio installation. If I was going to run the amplifier goes there. Maybe I should. Here we go. Doesn't make sense that the radio box is going to be bigger than the amplifier box, but there we are. So that would be the linear amp. So that's where the linear amp would go. Radio, linear amp, filter, bias T, ATU, and it's not worth me drawing it in at the moment. Actually, it probably is, but it gets more complicated because this is a valve linear amplifier and this is a solid state radio. Between the linear amplifier and the radio, there would be one more box, and that would be my small matching ATU to match the input impedance of the linear amp. Okay, so sounded like Mr. Garrity again. Okay. Could be nice to make the sort of money those guys make, wouldn't it, really? So that's the radio. Then we've got the small ATU. Radio, small ATU to match the input impedance of the linear amp. On the output of the linear amp, the filter. So basically the filter is the last thing in the coaxial line, apart from the ATU and the bias T's if you're putting DC up the coax. So that's where that's the order the equipment is connected together. Righto, hope you found that useful or interesting. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.